Hi there, welcome to today's session. Today we have a lot to talk about, and it's all about your own questions and anything that you would like to know about TalentLMS. So welcome to another Ask Us Anything session, where our goal is to answer as many questions as possible live in relation to TalentLMS. And today we have a lot to talk about, starting with notifications. My name is Theo. I am part of the customer education team, and I will be your host for today, answering live. But also behind the scenes, we have Mary, who will be an expert and answer your questions on the chat as well. Now, remember, this session is recorded, so you will receive the recording once it's over. And what do we start talking about today? Today it's about notifications. So we will be checking out together how you can set up and work with notifications and how you can customize them. And usually these sessions start with a very brief presentation, and also you will be asking your questions live, and we will be answering them in the majority of the rest of the session. It's going to be 30 minutes, but most of it will be filled in with your questions. And as we said before, the session is recorded, so you will receive the recording live. And you can ask your questions by using the Q&A button in the dashboard. If you want to have a look with me, have a look at the settings of the meeting and check out the Q&A button. Use it as you need, ask us anything about TalentLMS, and let's get started talking about notifications. To do that, I'm just going to share my screen, so that way you can see the portal as we go through that. And I hope you can see my screen, right? Perfect. So what are notifications in TalentLMS? Notifications are automated emails that you can send to users based on specific triggers. For example, you might have created a really awesome course with lots of videos, lots of interactive material, and lots of content that people will need to check out and get training for, and maybe get certified. But then the learners might not be very keen on taking training, might be a bit lazy, or they might be able to just prioritize other projects, but still you want them to be focused on the training. So you might want to have a system where you can send an email to people that will be reminding to them how they can get on the portal, how they can get the training, and just hype them up a little bit more about completing the courses. So that is a notification. And that is actually a question that we have received a lot, because people really want to set up reminders for learners to complete courses that might have overlooked a little bit. So to work with notifications, we need to be an administrator, and we need to get straight onto the events engine right there. The events engine is where we build and where we modify the notifications. If you start using TalentLMS right now, you might already have some default notifications, or you can always just start creating your own right away. Let's do it together. Click on Add Notification. The primary aspect here of notifications is the event. The event is what will trigger the email notification to go out. So we have a lot of different events. We can have events about users getting created, so we send them the credentials, or we can have events about courses that need to be completed, courses that have been completed, or if you're doing blended learning and you are arranging instructor-led training sessions, we can have notifications that just reminds people about the upcoming sessions that they need to attend. But what we will do today is we are going to base our example on the question that we are receiving a lot. How can I set a notification that will be a reminder for users to complete the courses? The event that we are going to check out together is number of hours after course acquisition. So here we have it, X hours after course acquisition. So a specific amount of time after somebody has received the course and not completed them, that email will go to their email address. The recipient here will be the related user. The related user is the person who has just been subjected to the event that we have selected. So in other words, that's going to be the learners of that specific course. Of course, you can have more recipients, but let's stick with the related user right now. And let's define the hours. How many hours after somebody getting a course we want to send them the first reminder? Well, I'm going to be nice and I'm just going to say 72 hours. So 3 days from the day that somebody gets assigned to a course, but not completing that, they will receive the email that we will compose together. And then we get to the body. First of all, the first line is the subject line of the email that you will send to the users. And then The rest can be anything you want. So if I just add a little bit of text there and make this larger so we can see, the subject line of that email will be this: time to complete your course. Sounds good. And then we can adjust the content as we need, but maybe we want to personalize it a little bit. So if we want to select the first name of the user, so that's going to be hi Mary, hi John, hi Catherine, we can add the placeholders, the smart tags that we see right there. So if I just go to hi, place my cursor and click on the related user first name, what this will do is it will populate that specific user's first name as they have completed their profile in TalentLMS. So it's a little bit more personalized. And then we want to add which course is about to expire. So if I click again on the place that I want this to be and add the course name, placeholder, smart tag there, that will populate the related course. So you can imagine you can really personalize that notification and add as much information as you need. All we need to do right here is just add a name. So that's going to be reminder for courses. And then I'm just going to leave it as it is and create the notification. So now we have created a reminder that will be sent to users 3 days from the day that they get assigned to the course, but not completing that course yet. Let's see though how we can make that a repeated reminder. For example, how we can set specific amount of times that this will be resent to those users and how often that will be resent. So if I go now and find that notification, here it is, hover, and then click on the actual name, you see that I can edit it again. And now we're going to do this. Click on the button. This is a recurring notification. And then we start creating the schedule. For example, if I want this to be done every week, I can leave it as it is. Or if I want this to be done every 2 weeks, I can slide my options there. And if I want this to happen for a specific amount of time, for example, I'm going to say that this will happen for about 4 times. Now, what I have created is this. The user gets assigned to the course, and then they don't complete the course for some reason. It doesn't matter if they have started the course or not. What matters is that they have not completed that course yet. So 3 days go by, the first email will go out. And then if they have completed that, that's fine. They're not going to receive any of that notification. But if they have not completed that and 2 weeks go by, they're going to receive another one. 2 more weeks, another one. But of course, we do hope that in the meantime, they will complete the course. Update the notification, and here we have it. That notification now is up and running, and anybody relevant, anybody who is a related user will receive that notification. That is just a very, very brief overview of how notifications work. But I know that we have questions, and I know that we have already started answering some questions by Mary, but also we have saved some to answer live. So let me just open that Q&A button there. And yeah, let's say hi to Diane first. Diane says, when there are a lot of courses, how do you recommend making the layout easier to use? For example, can courses be displayed as just a list, no course icons, or can courses be grouped into sections or folders? So Diane, great question, away from notifications, but that's absolutely fine. We're here to answer anything. So if I understand correctly, you're looking to just format the way that the learners can see the courses, right? Let's see that together. And for that, I'm just going to switch here to learner. And I understand here that this is not what you're looking for because we're looking at the courses with the images, the categories. So if you want this to be in a list without the icons, on the top right, just go to the list here. And what you see now is all of the courses that somebody has been assigned to are visible without the icon and just as a list. And just a quick tip here, if you're an administrator into your accounts and you select for your own learner view to have this as a prerequisite, to have this as the default view, then any learner will start with that. But of course, they always have the option to click on the grid and see everything as a grid as well. But if you have selected for your own view to have the list and you're an admin, then the learners will be able to start with that as a default. I hope that helps. And let's go to another question that I see here. Right, so that's John. So hi there, John. John is asking, can I send notifications from my own domain name? So if I understand correctly, you don't want to have Talent LMS anywhere visible in the sender email of the notifications, right? Yes, you can. So let's go back as an admin and let's see how we can do it. The first thing that you need to make sure is that you have your own domain name in your account. So the domain name is the link that people need to use to sign into your portal. In the account and settings as an admin, let's go to the domain. And here you see that already we have Talent LMS. But if you go to map your custom domain, you can have anything. For example, I'm going to say training.com, let's say. And once you map your own domain, I'm pretty sure, John, that this is something that your IT team has already done or is planning to do. But if you map your own domain, then you can tick the box and you can say send email notifications from your domain. So here you have the ability to send email notifications from an email address that contains your own domain name and there's no sign of Talent LMS there. It doesn't have to be no reply here. It can be, for example, info. But one thing that's we need to let you know is this. First of all, your IT team should be able to configure a couple of settings into your domain provider, and that is their job. Just give this information to them. But also, the email address that we send the notifications from, even though it displays your own domain name here and there is no sign of Talent LMS, those notifications are still sent from Talent LMS. So, John, remember this. The users will not be able to reply and you receive the messages. The users will not be able to reply because that is technically a no reply address, although it displays your own domain name there. So keep that in mind. And yes, the answer is that you can display your own domain and have notifications sent from there. There is another question, and that is from Konstantinos. Konstantinos is asking, can I customize the system notifications? For example, can I just change the way that the forgot password email works because my users want to have something specific? Yes, you can do it. So let's see how to do it together. What Konstantinos is referring to, if I understand correctly, is this. You have the forgot passwords, forgot username, email address, emails that users can get if they forget their password, or you have other default system emails that we send to you. In this case, yes, you can customize them. So if I go to the events engine here, and if I click on the little arrow next to the add notification button, yes, you can customize the system notifications. So if I get the example that Konstantinos was asking, that is the reset password email. So if we have a look a little bit closer, and if we expand again the text area, you can always do that. Here you can change anything. Remember, the first line is a subject line. And then you can always just add more information, or maybe you can say, for example, if you have questions, speak to your line manager or the IT team and anything else that you would like to add. And of course, at any given point, just go down all the way, update notifications, and that will be the new email that will be sent to anybody who asks to reset their password. And there seem to be more questions, so I'm really glad that you're bringing them on. Erica is asking a question. I have set up some trainings that I have not sent out to our employees as of yet. I would now like to send our trainings. Is there a way for me to send out a new welcome to the trainings? Erica, that's a really good question, but one thing that's I really need to understand here is you would like to send an email that will be generic, for example, for the users that you have a couple of trainings and go and check them out, or you would like to assign the trainings to them and get a related message. Let me know, but I'm going to give you a good workaround for that. Because at this point, I don't think that you are looking for a notification. You're looking for a message probably. So if you want to send a message to everybody, an email to everybody that, hey, there are trainings to be launched, check them out. What you can do as an admin, of course, you can go to the messages and you can send a message here. So you can say, for example, recipients. It can be, I'm just going to type the letter A, doesn't matter. But here it can be all users. So literally, that's going to be all of the people that you have in your account. And the subject line can be, for example, new training, and then you can add anything you like in the body. You can even attach things. If you have a PDF that will outline what those trainings are about, please attach it as well. And send a message. Just remember this though, this is not something that they will require to log in and see. Otherwise, how do they know when to log in? But that will also be a copy that will be sent to their email address. So the messages are sent in TalentLMS, and the copy of that message is sent to their email address. So technically, you send them an email from TalentLMS. Perfect. Thank you, Erica. There is another question from an anonymous attendee. Can we send different default notifications, such as password resets for different branches? Greek for branch A, English for branch B. That is a really, really good question, but I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you today. The answer is no. The system notifications get from the main portal. So it doesn't matter if you click the forgot password from a branch or not, the email will be the same. But that is a really good suggestion. I'm going to check with the team. And of course, I'm going to let them know that this is a good suggestion, possibly for some future improvements. So thank you for that. There's another question as well that comes from Natalie. And Natalie is asking, when a user signs up, I always receive an email. Can I also have the location of the user included? That's a good question. So let me think about it. Natalie, I assume that you are the account owner, right? So you want to be alerted when somebody signs up. Yes, so you must be the account owner then. So yes, you can have a notification which will include a custom field that will declare that user's notification. Custom fields are fields that you can create, and they will be visible on the user profiles. So that way they will need to complete them and provide you with information. And those custom fields can be used in certifications, in notifications, and of course, in some reports. So let's see first how we create that custom field. As an admin again, the admin takes all the decision into the account and settings and into the basic settings here. If we scroll all the way down, you will see that we have the custom fields. So custom user fields, click on them, and you will have the ability to create any field you want for any type of information. For example, the location here is a drop-down, and people can choose the locations. Of course, I know that I'm skipping through information right now, but if you want to check out custom fields, create one, go to the information point here, or go to the tooltip, the information point there, and you will always see information related and the help center article related to what this is about. So apologies if I'm going a little bit quickly here, but you always have the ability to find information. So back to Natalie's question. So we have created the location as the custom fields, and then provided that, of course, users have completed that in their profiles, in the events engine, the notification that you want to receive as the account owner who will be alerted about people signing up is probably this one, user creation, and that's going to be sent to admins or to the account owner like you. If I click on that notification, the event is on user create, or if they sign up alone, that's going to be on user sign up. And then the recipient, it can be the super admins or like you, the account owner, just selecting the account owner. And if you would like to change the body and include the include the custom field of the location that the users have, let's say here, a new user has been added to your account from, and I'm going to click on the location here, which will be the custom field, which will populate the information from the user. So that's the notification that can include the custom fields as you create them. And you see I have more custom fields here, so we can always use those as well. And there's another question as well. This time it comes from Rajesh. Rajesh is asking if you can use coding in notifications. So can I format the text, the HTML? Can I add coding and images? Rajesh, this is good questions, but I think that you might want to double check, first of all, what you would like to do with that. Would you like to have bold letters? Would you like to have italics, different colors? And then you need to find the correct HTML attributes. So the answer is yes, but you have to check what you will add to the notification. So if we go to the events engine again, and let's say that we're going to go for the one that we created earlier together. Let's say that I will expand. Let's say that I want to make the completed before it expires, the word expires, bold. So here I'm going to add HTML. That is B for bold. And that is the attribute that I need to open and close. And that's it. Yes, that will now be bold. And yes, the notifications can take HTML. So experiment with that and see how far you can customize that text. Now, let's go to another question, which will be something related not to coding, because I know that sometimes this sounds like jargon. Okay, so Mary's asking, if I use my own domain and send the notifications from that domain too, will the learners be able to reply to the notification email so I receive the response? So Mary, this is what we said before. You cannot have an email which will be actually working and have the users reply and receive the notifications. Because remember, in the accounting settings, under domain again, under your own custom domain, and I'm going to say test now, and under the settings that you have here, yes, you can change the prefix of the email to be something different, but still that will be sent from TalentLMS. So you cannot really have people reply to that. But I'm going to give you a workaround. What you can do is this. You can add some text into the footer of the notification, so that way you will be able to alert people about who to ask. For example, if we're going to go back to the events engine here, and we're going to go, for example, again, into this one, my Google notification, you can always add another line, for example, thank you, and then you can say PS, and then you can add that. Something doesn't look right, let our team know and send us an email. So that is the workaround if you want them to send you an email and do it somewhere that you can receive the emails. And there is another question about courses. What is the meaning of the course codes? And that is coming from an anonymous attendee again. I wish I knew your name. So what is the meaning of the course codes? I assume that you're looking to put your courses into some order and you have found that the course code is something that you can use. So yes, if we go to a course and we go to this one, for example, you have the option to add a course code, which will be the determining factor of the order of the courses. So that way they don't get alphabetically sorted based on the name, they get alphabetically sorted based on the code. So that will give you the flexibility of adding the courses one by one in an order that you need without having to get creative with names. So REM 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, they will always appear together regardless of what the name is. It's a very handy tip because that is something that can help users put together courses and see them as they need to take them from top to bottom. And let's see another question. There is somebody else asking. That's Andreas. So if they reply in the email generated from the events engine, the super admin will not receive it. Yes, that is correct. So remember again, the email that you receive from notifications is a no reply email address. And I will tell you why. Because the events that get to trigger the emails that are sent out, the events are sent from TalentLMS, right? The events are triggers based on actions that happen on TalentLMS. So those triggers are synced in the backend with our own emailing system. So we cannot have the triggers syncing with your own email system. So that's why we have to send them. So the triggers are the ones that activate the email system to send notifications. That's why you cannot have users reply, because that email that sends out the notifications is not something that we can connect to yours. So the only way that the users can reply to those emails is, number one, if you add a disclaimer, which like we saw before, that says, please contact that email address to ask your question, or the other thing that you can do is send a message to people which will be sent from your own email address. So the notifications from the events engine, you are right, we cannot have them replied. But the messages here, yes, they can reply and you will receive them because technically you send a message from your own email address. I hope you see what the difference is here, but I know that this is too much theory. So ideally, give it a shot, try it, and of course, let us know if something is not looking as expected. There is another question from Ed. Ed is asking, in regards to course codes, we used it to create a copy of the course, but without all the same information in there. We removed the downloadable handout from the preview version that we created using course codes. I think I need a little bit more information about what you are trying to achieve and what didn't go as expected. But one thing that I will say, it was a comment. Okay, good. You see, I tend to add a question mark in everything, especially in those Ask Us Anything sessions. But yes, that is another good workaround, actually. The only thing, though, that you can always work with when it comes to handouts is you can always just remove files if you don't want them to be shareable without having to create a clone for that. For example, if we actually go as an instructor into a course, and let's say, for example, that that will be one. If I click on the course and then if I go on the files here, you don't really have to clone the course if you don't want to share the files, because here you always have the option to share those files. But if not, you can always come back to the same course and you can remove that. So now the files are still there, but are not shareable. So users cannot see them and cannot download them. So I hope that this helps a little bit, so that way you will be able to just get less work by cloning all the courses. And let's see if we have another question. Yeah, right, here it is. So Nick is asking, is it possible to integrate with my own account of Zoom webinars in TalentLMS so I can create live sessions? Yes, you can, Nick. So let's actually go back as an admin and let's see how we can integrate our meeting provider and Zoom webinars as well. So as an admin, we get to the account and settings, and from there, just go all the way down, and here it is, conferences. So here you have the option to integrate Zoom webinar, and you can click on it. And of course, you can click on the tooltip, you can hover, and then you can see, learn more and get to our help center and see all the steps. It's a very quick process. Just make sure that you integrate once, and then all of the people that need to create webinars, like the instructors that will host those webinars in TalentLMS, they're also part of your Zoom account, so they will be able to actually do it. But yes, the quick answer is you can integrate Zoom webinars. And a very, very final question, and that question has to do with the notifications again. So we're going to close with that. Again, an anonymous attendee is asking, can I send a notification to specific people? Yes, the answer is yes. Let's have a look at how we can do it. Again, in the events engine, that's where all notifications can be edited. If I click on any, doesn't matter now, I'm going to click on the first. You can go to the recipients and you can choose a little bit further down, specific recipients. So you can click, and here you can add the email addresses. It can be more than one, doesn't have to be just one. You can add the email addresses of anybody who needs to receive that notification. It can be team leaders, it can be supervisors, it can be investors, stakeholders, pretty much anybody. And there is another question again from Andreas, and that's going to be the really final one. When I clone a course, are the contents test questions cloned as well? Test question 1 in course A is duplicate when I clone a test. Andreas, this is a really good question. And in fact, yes, we're going to check it out together. But the answer is that whatever you have in the course will also be transferred into the other course. So for example, if I just go to clone, for example, let's say the last updated one, if I just go to clone this one, for example, or can I? Yeah, let's clone this one. If I just go to clone that one, and I'm gonna surely do it. If I go now into the course and I go into the course content, what you will see is that everything that I have inside has been cloned. So yes, including the quiz, if I go to edit here, all of the questions that have been added into the first course, they will be added here as well. So yes, you clone pretty much everything that you have in the course, apart, of course, from the learners. You always clone the instructors that are into the course as well, but the learners, of course, are not part of the cloning because you have the ability to add more. I hope that this answered your questions, and I really hope that it helped. And of course, if you have more questions, we are here to help, and we are here to help with any question about TalentLMS. So let us know. Training team at talentlms.com is our direct email address. And what we always have is an open heart and open ears for your feedback. So let us know in the survey that you see on the chat right now, what would you like to have as topics in our upcoming webinars? What did you like about this webinar? What would you like to see in the future? And of course, we'd love to see you in our upcoming sessions. And last thing that I'm going to advertise to you today, that is our website. We have a dedicated website that's going to be talentlms.com/webinars. And here you can see all of the upcoming sessions. all of the past sessions. And of course, again, you can always explore our quick tips and all of the videos that you can find in our YouTube channel in TalentLMS. Thank you so much for being with us today. We've really enjoyed your questions, and we really hope that you're going to bring more questions our way in the future sessions. Take care. Thank you so much, and hope to see you in the next webinar. Bye bye.